Welcome back to Southern Indiana Now. I'm Sean Hildreth, your producer, and today your host. So we've been all across Southern Indiana exploring hunting, from great places to explore on public lands to where you can get your ammo, where you can get your weapons, and where you can get your meat processed. So we've gone all across Southern Indiana to bring you this exciting journey into hunting in Indiana. And we couldn't have done this without Prosser Career and Education Center. Prosser is a great place to go if you're exploring a career and you want to be equipped to be successful. Prosser Career and Education Center is the place to go. They will set you up for success in your future. And thank you for sponsoring our podcast, Prosser. All right, here we go. Welcome back to Southern Indiana Now. I'm Sean Hildreth, producer usually, but sitting in the chair today. We're going to be talking about hunting in this episode. We've got lots of great things to talk about. We visited in Corydon. We've been to a meat processor. We've done a lot of great things to kind of bring you a little snippet of what it's like to go hunting here in Indiana. And today we have Josh Teulker with us, and he's going to tell us a little bit about, hunting on public lands and kind of some tips for the hunters here. And Josh has a great YouTube channel called Before the Echo. So we're glad to have Josh here with us today. Thanks for being here, Josh.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit about, how you got into hunting. Like, what were some of the things that inspired you to get into, getting out in the land and hunting?
Yeah, so I guess I was one of the lucky ones where my grandpa hunted, my dad hunted, and my uncles all hunted, kind of on both sides of my family. So it really wasn't even like a thing to not hunt. It was just like something we did as a family. We went from everything from all hunted together. We processed our own meat together, and ate a lot of the venison that we harvested together. So as a boy, I didn't really even know anything different. It was just like, I can't wait to go and hunt with my dad and my grandpa and my uncles. So I started hunting, killed my first deer when I was 9 years old, and just haven't stopped since then.
So if someone's in Indiana and they want to start hunting, what are some of the first things they want to do to get prepared to start hunting?
Yeah, so I think the hardest thing right now in this day and age of hunting is access to land, right? Like acreage is getting more expensive. Landowners are becoming, there's becoming, everything's getting broken up, or they're becoming very large landowners where, farmers own, instead of owning hundreds of acres, now they own thousands of acres, or we're getting it chunked up into acreages, like small acreages where we're building housing. So as hunters, we're losing opportunity in that manner. So I think the biggest hurdle for most people, like you can go on YouTube and Google, like, what do I need to go deer hunting with, right?
Yeah.
But for most people, it's the access part is the hard part. And in Indiana, we're fairly lucky to where we have like, I think like 1.37 million acres of public land in Indiana. And sitting here in Southern Indiana, most of that is in Southern Indiana. So we have everything from, the Hoosier National, which makes up a very large portion of the public land in Indiana, which is federal land. The Hoosier National is. And it's over 200,000 acres. I think it's like 205,000 acres. It spans essentially from Monroe Reservoir in Bloomington all the way down to the Ohio River. It's not all that land there, but it's chunked all throughout there.
Right.
And so I think that's a big part. And it can be intimidating to go hunting public land because, for one, there can be other hunters there. You don't exactly know regulations, or you got to figure all that stuff out. There's a lot of tools now though online where people can download mapping softwares like Onyx or Spartan Forage, and there's some other ones that actually give you state or federal public land boundary lines.
That's great.
They even tell you where you can and can't be. So lots of tools now to feel more comfortable going and hunting on public land.
So do all the public lands, do they offer deer hunting, turkey hunting? Like, where do you find that information about what's available?
So it varies by properties. So most of your federal land are going to just abide by your state regulations. Now, again, you gotta be careful. Like there's regulations around campgrounds where you can't be so close to a campground, or developed areas inside of public land where the general public is going to be using it. But that's just stuff that if you call the local, the office that's at the Monroe Reservoir, wherever, they're going to be able to tell you pretty quickly. Now, where things can get a little tricky on public land is a lot of your wildlife refuges. So, like, I'll give you an example. We're setting probably 5 miles from Muscatatuck right now, wildlife refuge. So there are places in there where the federal government has deemed as a sanctuary for waterfowl and other habitat or other wildlife. You're not allowed to go in those areas.
Okay.
And then there's on wildlife refuges, there are a lot of odd rules, like you can't run trail cameras in there. You got to be out of there. You can't be there at night. So after you're done deer hunting, you got 30 minutes essentially to get off the property, or you're technically breaking the law inside of the.
Probably can't leave your stand up.
Can't leave your stand, and that is that's something in Indiana. You can leave stands on public land, not on the refuge, but you can put a stand in. I think it's 30 days before season and leave it up, and then you have to take it out 30 days after deer season stops. So there's a span where you can have a stand put up. There's a lot of good mobile hunting gear out now. Gone are the days of like the 50 or 60 pound climbing tree stands that we used to have to lug around. There's a lot of good options to use on public land for equipment.
So what are there any challenges this year for any deer hunters or anything coming up? Like what's
So the biggest thing in Indiana this year was we had a pretty severe outbreak of EHD, especially in southern Indiana. So Jennings County, which is this county just south or just east of where we're sitting at right now, they were the highest affected area for EHD, and Jackson County was right behind them. We are going to have probably I would have to imagine lower numbers this year than typical. That's definitely going to be the biggest challenge, and it's going to be localized. Like EHD is a very localized disease, so in your area it may not be a problem, and then in some areas you have devastation. So does
that affect the meat or anything if somebody gets one that has it but hasn't passed?
Nope, that's a good question. I actually shot a deer in the Muscatatuck that when I got to it, its feet were all messed up, so they were all like twisted and turned in weird ways. And I'm like, that's weird, And I called the DNR, and they said that's likely a symptom of surviving EHD. I guess it does something to where it messes with their feet. And I asked them, like, do I need to eat this thing? So yeah, it's fine. There's no problem at all. EHD typically affects either really young deer or mature deer, and typically males, bucks only. Not only, but that's the population that gets hit the hardest. And if they survive it, they're fine.
So do you, when you hunt, do you typically use guns, archery? Do you do a bit of both?
I do a bit of both. I would say it's probably 70% archery and 30% gun. And that's just opportunity, right? Like that's about the breakup of how much you can bow hunt versus gun hunt in Indiana.
Any muzzle loaders in your
hunting? Yep. I have a muzzle loader that I use for that couple weeks if I have any tags left over.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's great. So, across Indiana, you mentioned some of the places that we have where people can hunt. Is there a favorite for yours? Like, do you like the topography of a place? Or
I love the Hoosier National Forest. Just it's pretty rare to have a piece of ground where it's vast, right? Where like you can walk for a couple of miles without hitting a road. And we have that in southern Indiana where you can get on a hiking trail and you can go into the forest pretty far before you would hit another road. And I love that. I love being able to walk an hour and still not hit another road. So that's where I like to spend my time is in the Hoosier National. Not saying that it's a better place to hunt or this or that. It's just, I like it in there. It's pretty, it gives you a sense of being away from the world, the hubble and bubble of the world right now.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I think I really appreciate you being here. And I think as we get into hunting season, which I think bow season starts on the 1st.
Yep.
So we've got a exciting time this week and this fall, this winter. And so if you're out there hunting, be safe, have fun, and thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Hi, Hi, I'm Emery Jones, Career Education Coordinator at Prosser Career Education Center in New Albany. Are you ready to build your future? At Prosser, you'll explore 29 hands-on, high-wage programs, from aviation to culinary, welding to cybersecurity, all designed to launch real careers or college success. Prosser is located at 4202 Charlestown Road, New Albany, Indiana. Need help? Call our main office at 812-542-8508 or visit your school counselor today to learn more. Prosser, where your future begins.
And we're back on Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask, hanging out with the West today with Bite the Bullet, located actually in downtown Seymour. We're talking all things hunting as we venture into the Hoosier Hustle segment. And thank you so much for joining us. I know we wanted to talk with Wes today because there's some changes that people in hunting need to know about as coming up this fall in Southern Indiana. So Wes, let's talk about what those changes are and how people can be accommodated at Bite the Bullet.
All right. Well, the biggest thing is there's a rifle caliber change. So anything bigger than .219 caliber can be used this year. So like 223, 5.56 out of your AR, anything larger than that. There's a case restriction as far as length. Consult with the DNR about that, but that's the biggest change this year.
Okay, so tell me, we've got a hunting season right around the corner. Everything's getting ready to open up. What are some must-haves and what might be on some Christmas lists as we get closer?
Well, we've got all sorts of guns for hunting. So whether you're looking for waterfowl, whether you're looking for squirrel, deer, whatever, we've got all that covered. We also have some hunter orange hats.
Okay.
So if
that's
you
need
some safety stuff, we've got ear protection, eye protection, whatever you need.
So you need all the things, is what you're saying.
You need it all.
All right. Well, that's the thing. When you're coming in, you don't know. So I didn't know there were different shotguns or rifles for different types of hunting. So tell me more about that.
Well, if you're going to shoot a squirrel, you don't want to use the same thing that you're going to shoot a deer with.
Oh, okay.
So you want a smaller gun, bigger game, bigger caliber.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
That's how that works.
Okay. All right. So tell me about how to get your license and tell me what your hours are and what people maybe should look for when they're shopping.
Hours are Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 6.
Okay.
Hunting licenses, we do not sell those. So go to Walmart, go to wherever you want to do that. If you're confused about it, go to the DNR website and they'll tell you where you can go get that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So you need to have that with you when you're
Absolutely.
hunting. Yes.
And whatever the tag limit is, they will tell you that as well.
Okay. And then once they're successful out in the field, what do they do next?
They're going to take it to a meat processing place after they check it.
Yep.
You got to check it with the DNR and then take it to your favorite meat processing place.
Yeah.
And you're off
enjoy
and
food
running.
beer all winter long.
There you go.
There you go. Okay, fantastic. And as we're thinking about with the holidays getting closer, what are some things on some must-have lists for this season that you're already kind of thinking about and seeing?
Not seeing a whole lot yet with the must-haves other than ammo. You know, everybody
Ammo's
needs
always
ammo.
Huge. Yes.
And the gun itself. Scopes. If you need your scope, bore sight or whatever, we'll do that for you.
Okay.
If you don't have a scope and you want to purchase a scope, we have those. And if you purchase a scope from us, we'll bore sight the rifle for free.
All right.
So
I love that. So tell me about if someone's looking for maybe their very first shotgun or their very first rifle, what are some things that they need to have in consideration for features that are would be a good thing?
first thing is you got to figure out what you're going to use the gun for.
Okay.
Because a gun that I'm going to use for home defense is not the same gun I'm going to use for deer hunting if I want to use a slugged gun for that, or it's not the same gun I'm going to use if I'm going to waterfowl hunt or turkey hunt.
Yeah.
So first thing is determine what it is you want to do with this firearm.
Okay.
And then the most important thing is how the gun feels in your hand. Mm-hmm. If it's not comfortable to you, you're going to tend not to want to shoot it.
Sure. Yeah. So if you're talking about maybe home protection, so what are some kind of good brands or some different things we should all look for?
Mossberg, Winchester, your typical brands.
Yeah.
A home defense shotgun is going to be shorter.
Okay.
Because it's going to be used in the house.
Yeah.
More than likely.
Okay.
And so maneuvering around corners and doors and couches, you don't want a 28-inch barrel.
That's true.
Because you're going to snag on stuff.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
you want something shorter. Whereas if you're going to bird hunt, you want a longer barrel to keep that pattern tighter.
Keep the pattern tighter. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, and then as someone a lot of people I'm sure are thinking about that these days. So what are some other things they need to have? Obviously the ammo, but so tell me what are some other things people need to make sure they have to go with their first shotgun for home protection?
For home protection, you're going to need some ammo, the correct ammo. There again, you don't use the same stuff for home protection that you use to hunt squirrel with.
Oh, okay.
It's a whole different design, whole different thought process.
What types of ammo do we need for home protection?
You would probably, out of a shotgun, you would want buckshot.
Okay.
Maybe double-aught buck, as opposed to if you're deer hunting, you'd use a slug.
Yeah. Okay.
And a slug would work for home defense, but it's probably not the optimal thing.
I gotcha. All right. So definitely get into Bite the Bullet, and they can shop online too, right?
Absolutely, at btbguns.com.
All right. Fantastic. Now you have all the scoop, making sure that your hunting season is going to be successful. You want to make sure you have a stop at Bite the Bullet. If you're in the Jackson County area, they can get you connected with all things that are going to help you be successful out in the field or on the water. Yeah, all the places you can get everything you need there. We'll be back right here on Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask. Wherever you go, our stations have your music, local news, local sports, and local weather covered. 95.3 WUME brings you today's best hits, along with Paoli sports, local news, and weather. 98.7 WSCZ plays the timeless favorites from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, as well as local weather and Orleans high school sports. And 96.9 WKLO keeps it country with all your favorite classic country hits, plus Corydon and North Harrison high school sports, as well as local news and weather. Your soundtrack for Southern Indiana is found on 95.3 WUME, 98.7 WSEZ, and 96.9 WKLO. Well, here we are at Gun World Archery and Pro Shop. You're back with Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask, and yep, I did not plan my wardrobe accordingly for this contraption today, but apparently this is a big deal when you're into hunting in Southern Indiana. This guy, Greg, from Gun World Archery and Pro Shop, located in Corydon, Indiana, is going to tell you what it's used for, and it's not a hammock. So I thought I could maybe take a nap earlier, but I'm thinking now, it's used for some other things. So, Greg, let's talk about it.
Yeah, so what we have is our saddle display. Saddle hunting has been around for a long time, but it's really taken off in the last probably 5 or so years. The biggest thing is people are like, I don't know about it. Like, it looks like a hammock, or people call it a tree diaper, anything, but they don't know what to do with it. So having this display, which we have 2 display poles here, awesome. We can put you into one and actually let you experience the difference in saddles. We have multiple different carriers here, trophy line, tethered, hunt arsenal, several different brands, and they all make something different for each person. It's kind of like fitting a shoe to you.
We need this one to be like pink and have fuzzy armrests. Can we do that? I don't know. Is that a thing?
We could probably get something close to it.
Or maybe at least camo colored.
We could
probably do that.
Yeah,
custom ordered tree saddles. I love it. Okay, so this has really kind of changed the landscape of hunting. You guys do have one of the best displays here in Southern Indiana. So tell me how this gives you an advantage out in the field.
Well, just the saddle hunting in general is just a mobility aspect of it. There's still lock-on stands. There's still called a hang and hunt combo. We have climbers, and we have all that here as well. But this is for the ultimate mobility. You can physically get in any tree, anything. It can be multiple limbs, it can be straight, anything. And that's the great thing about it. It allows you mobility, but with the mobility part of it is it's lighter than everything else too. There is not everything is lightweight options of this, but you have budget oriented stuff, but there is super light stuff which allows you to pack in really long way, which hunting public land, that's become very big in the last several years as well. It's always been there, but it's just taken off, and having something really lightweight to be able to do that is there, and that's what this allows you to do.
Yeah. So speaking of hunting and all the things, if people have questions about what season it is in Indiana, what are we gearing up for here?
We're gearing up for deer season. Our deer season starts October 1st in Indiana. That's our archery season opener, and that'll run all the way through until November. Our gun season will kick in, then our muzzleloader, and it'll end up in archery in January again. So everything's gearing up. Everybody's getting it. We went from cool weather to warm weather again. As soon as we get under their cold snap, everybody's going to wake up again, and we'll be ready to go.
Yeah, I think if my deer watched this episode, they'd think I was a traitor right now. But it's okay.
You just have a different outlook to watch them with.
That's right. I could. I'm like, I wonder if I could get one of these for my house and watch my own critters. That would be a thing. So yeah, people probably do that. Now, can they come here and get for like the weigh stations and different things like that?
So we don't have weigh stations here, but we can check your game in.
Okay.
You can check your game in mobily, or if you don't have service or anything, you're in the area, we can check the deer in for you and give you your confirmation number. And then one of the things is processing. We've talked about it. There is a local processor here. It's like 5 minutes down the road off of 62, the same road that we are on. And then we can also tell you taxidermist, stuff like that, places to go. We have a couple guys in the area that are very, very, very good. So we have all of that stuff here. We can give you numbers or Facebook links, anything like that to get a hold of them.
All right, Greg. So other than this amazing tree stand saddle, we'll call it all the things. What are some other must-haves when you're out in the field?
Just your everyday stuff. It can be from skinning knife to scent prevention. We have all of that, or just scents in general. One of the big things the last few years has been mock scrapes. Anything to do with a mock scrape, we have every bit of that here, and we have it to where you get just the rope. You can get the rope combos, everything that you would need for that. Anything along that scent-wise, scent prevention, we have here. We carry a ton of different options with that. Anything that you could really want, we probably have.
All right, definitely check it out. Gun World Archery and Pro Shop. We'll be back. I'm Kelly Trask. And we're back on Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask, and we're hanging out at Gun World Archery and Pro Shop. So excited to talk with John. Archery, it's become just this huge thing. A lot of kids are doing it, adults are doing it. You can do it on your own property, you can do it at ranges. Let's talk about all the different styles. If someone's just thinking about getting into archery, where do they even start?
Mainly we find out price point, kind of where we want to be and what
That usually decides a lot of things in
what
life.
we're doing.
Yeah.
We've got bows to fit any budget.
Okay.
From low end, entry level to super high end.
Okay, I love that. So tell me about kiddos. I know that you guys have a great program to involve kids into archery in the sport.
Yes, we have S3DA program. Pretty much if they can walk and shoot, they can be on that team. It can lead them to scholarship opportunities.
Wow, okay.
They get to shoot both indoors during the winter, and then they go outside and shoot 3D in the spring and in the early summer.
Wow. So tell me about some of the skills that you need to be good at archery, and how Gun World helps kind of cultivate that with the range program.
Well, the one good thing, we've got a lot of good parents that help volunteer to help our two coaches. Repetition is probably the key.
Okay.
No distractions, kind of like singing. No bubble gum.
Yeah.
Go over and take it serious while we're practicing.
Yeah.
But repetition.
Okay, I love that. So tell me, what if someone is thinking about, I've been thinking about wanting getting into archery. What is a good kind of entry level way to get started? Is there a certain bow that you could like, hey, you're new, you should probably start with this one?
Well, the best thing I can do, like I said, get with the price point, and then with everything we've got here,
Yes.
we can test anything.
Okay.
So depending on what they're looking to do, I know with the S3DA program, we check and see their age, because we've got requirements on poundage we've got to meet or stay under a certain level, and then we go from there.
Okay.
Match them up with what they need.
Well, and you literally have every accessory. Like, what do we even need to get started? We need a bow. What else do we need?
With the compound, we just need sights, rests,
Okay.
and then probably a stabilizer, and then arrows.
Okay,
And then they can
that's
get
all you
going.
need. And you have a ton of selection of arrows here.
A ton of them.
Yeah, I love it. So definitely, when does the program for kiddos start? And does it run all year long?
It does not. I know typically they start in January. I believe this year our state representative has bumped that up a month. I believe they're going to start shooting in December this
Okay.
year. So they'll probably start practicing about the mid or so of November.
All right.
I would tell everybody interested in that to stay tuned on our probably post on Facebook.
Yeah, Gun World
We'll
Archery.
post that when we start
Workshop.
practicing, and then they'll have a coaches meeting with
Yeah.
parents and everything.
All right, you can check them out. I believe it's GW online, GW Archery and Pro Shop. Yeah, so it's going to be fun. Definitely check it out. It's a great Christmas idea for your kids. I remember I got my kids an archery set, and we set up targets outside, and we had the best time. Just playing and learning a new sport and learning new skills. You can do it with help at Gun World Archery and Pro Shop. We'll be back right here on Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask.
Hi, I'm Emery Jones, Career Education Coordinator at Prosser Career Education Center in New Albany. Are you ready to build your future? At Prosser, you'll explore 29 hands-on, high-wage programs, from aviation to culinary, welding to cybersecurity, all designed to launch real careers or college success. Prosser is located at 4202 Charlestown Road, New Albany, Indiana. Need help? Call our main office at 812-542-8508 or visit your school counselor today to learn more. Prosser, where your future begins.
And we're back on Southern Indiana Now, and I'm happy to say we are at First Capital Processing Plant here in Corydon, Indiana, talking with Garth about just the fact that they've opened up a retail center. You can come in and get beef or pork. So let's talk about all the things that you have for sale in your hours, and then we'll also talk about, as you're successful out in the field, a part of your hunting season, when you have deer to bring in, you guys can do that too. So let's talk all the things.
Yeah, so we started our retail case in about Memorial Day this year. And so we do beef and pork, and we also make hot dogs, snack sticks, bolognas, things like that.
Yeah.
All from local farmers that we get in Harrison County area, and we process them all here.
Okay, fantastic. So you can come in, you can see you get baby back ribs, and of course you know it's fresh because it was actually just processed.
Right, and so this case is our frozen, but we also have fresh occasionally.
Okay.
That we do periodically.
All right, fantastic. So tell me more about that. How does the process work when someone has a deer that they've killed and they want to have it processed? What do they need to do? Call you? They bring it here? How does that work?
Yeah, so during business hours, 7 to 4:30 through the week, 9 to noon on Saturdays, and people can just bring their deer in. We will check them in and take care of the cut order and tag their deer, to where we keep everybody separate.
Okay.
During firearm season, there will be extended hours on the weekends.
Okay.
So check our website and Facebook for those hours.
Okay, so tell me how also it works if someone wants to share a beef with somebody, or they want to be an eighth or a fourth or different things. So you guys take care of all that math.
Yeah, and so we keep a list, and so you don't even have to find somebody to share with.
Oh, that's
you
even
come
better.
in and ask, we can get you a quarter, half whole beef, we can do half or whole hogs.
Okay.
And we'll get, we get stuff in every
Yeah.
2 to 4 weeks. Get on the list, and then when we get stuff in, we'll call you and take a custom cut order and get all those details ironed out.
Okay, fantastic. First Capital Meat Processing, and tell everybody where you're located, Garth.
420 Higdon Street in Corydon, Indiana.
Okay, super easy to find. They'll get you taken care of. We like fresh food in southern Indiana, and nothing's fresher than straight out of the field. So you can definitely take care of that. And here at First Capital Meat Processing. Okay, Garth, so I'm staring at your, all the different options, and I'm seeing beef heart, I'm seeing beef tongue, I'm seeing oxtail. How do we cook these things? I know they're good. I hear they're good for you, but how do we cook them? What are some cool things we can do?
Yeah, so oxtail soup I really like it. You stick that puppy in the crock pot for 8, 10, 12 hours to where it's fall off the bone good, and you don't even have to spend the time taking the meat off the bone. You just eat your soup, and when you get a bone, you spit it out. And it makes fantastic soup. It's got really good flavor in the meat, as well as you get the bone marrow as well.
Okay, so speaking of that, I know you sell beef tallow here. So that's all the rage now. We know that's healthier to cook in. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so we sell the suet. We don't have the equipment to render it down into tallow, but we've got the suet. That's the fat inside the rib cage cavity of the beef.
Okay.
And it's like you said, all the rage. People use it for lots of different things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I grew up using it. We deep fry donuts in it all the time.
Yeah. The things, I mean, I think, did you just make donuts healthier? I'm not sure.
I mean, made some
something like
tweaks.
that. Yeah, exactly. All right, so obviously you have what are some other different kind of cuts of meat that that you have? I know, for example, like in here, I'm looking at, let's see, we've got pork liver, we've got beef heart. How do you cook your beef heart? What, and that comes like this, right? So
Yep.
Here we go.
That is half a beef heart. We cut them in half so that we can
Wow, they're twice the size.
clean
Okay.
out
Wait till I
the
did not grow up on a
insides.
farm.
That's all right. But
Yeah.
my mom always grew up eating a gravy and taters and carrots in a crock pot.
So this is probably what, $5 for this big chunk of meat?
Yeah, right about there.
Yeah, exactly. $3 a pound. That's incredible. But it's supposed to be, full of nutrients, and that makes sense.
Yeah, organ meat is
Does
fantastic
it taste
for
different?
you.
Can you notice a taste?
I like the flavor of heart and tongue as well.
Yeah.
It's a nice tight muscle.
Okay.
And I always grew up liking it, and like it a lot.
Yeah. I see filet here. Of course, holiday ham. I bet that's a good
Yeah.
way. So tell me some other things that you grew up, your mom made, that you have some fun recipes. So I want to know a little bit more about this.
So like you said, the ham, we've got holiday hams, halves and wholes as well. But we also have our ham steaks. Mom likes those because they're already pre-cooked. She just puts them on the grill just enough to warm them up and add a little more smoke flavor.
Yeah.
And there's a real quick, easy meal.
Well, your mom didn't know she was going to be famous today, did she?
You know?
But all that good cooking does pay off over the time. All right, is there anything else that people need to try when they come in here besides the things that maybe they would typically get?
Yeah, the things I really like, the snack sticks and the hot dogs.
Okay.
My brother's been making those, and he's getting them down pat and getting them real fantastic.
All right, we'll have to try all that out. All right, thanks so much. We'll be back right here on Southern Indiana Now. I'm Kelly Trask.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Southern Indiana Now. We hope you enjoyed this episode across Indiana's great places, and we want to thank Prosser Career Education Center for their support of our episode. Now, if you are just starting a career or if you're trying to explore a new option, Prosser can help you get there. So thanks, Prosser, for joining us and supporting us in this episode. Now, if you want to find our Southern Indiana Now episodes, you can go to YouTube, you can go to Spotify, you can go to Apple. Anywhere you find a podcast, we'll be there. So thanks for joining us on Southern Indiana Now. I'm Sean Hildreth.